So I'll briefly cover Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob from after Adam and Eve were sent away from the garden. Um, they went towards the Americas, mixed with the natives. In the beginning, there were 4 tribes of people. There was Indians, there were Euphrateans, which we know as European, there were Asian, and there were black. The nation of Egypt, that was black and Asian. When Adam and Eve traveled to the Americas, they mixed with the people. And they delivered the word of God's existence. And the natives received it. As far as the other tribes of people, they were lost. Because of Adam and Eve's sin, God couldn't leave them in charge of delivering the word. Well, he let them deliver the word because they knew him, but he couldn't leave them in charge of authority because they couldn't be trusted to deliver the word properly because of their sin. They were sent away from the garden, but God still loved them. He wanted them to deliver the word, but through their own teachings, through their own heart, versus him telling them. See, they were supposed to go out and teach everyone. They were like the first presidents, or king and queen, should I say. They were supposed to teach everyone the word of God, but they failed when they disobeyed him. So they lost that opportunity. The Europeans, as we know them, they were in Antarctica. Africans were in Africa. Asians were in Asia, and Indians were here. So Adam and Eve went into where the Indians were. They started mixing with the people. They, taught them about God. So there was a stronghold of God. That's where Noah's generation came from. Noah is of Indian descent. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. When God warned Noah of the flood, his sons were to marry wives of which they chose. And keep in mind, then the earth is only separated by that river. It's just one big landmass with the river flowing down through it. And little seas. There were little bodies of water throughout the earth, but it wasn't big oceans. The land that we know as land now was really mountains. The land before the flood was below sea level land that's covered by water now. If you go under there, you're going to find all types of artifacts from before the flood. They're probably disintegrated by now, but they're there. So all the 4 races are here. Sin is extremely graphic throughout the earth. It's overwhelming. So God is just like, he he doesn't want to, but he has to get rid of it because it's like way over capacity. It's like no one knew God at all. Um, so he was like, I got to clean it up. Um, so Noah was the only one that found favor in God's eyes because he believed in him. He was a son of Adam, so not his literal. He was like a great grandson of Adam, um, but he knew God, and that was saving the people by not destroying Adam and Eve and sending them to mix with the people. It saved the people because the word of God's existence was brought into the world. See, God, he brought forth the people, and so he made a man that could till the ground and work the ground and could deliver his message to the people and explain what everything is. See, no one knew how to do gardening or anything. God had to teach one of the people how to lead the people. But Adam failed that when he disobeyed him. It was more Adam's fault than Eve's because God put Adam in charge and he should have been like, I'm not taking the fruit. He wasn't resistant at all. And so God was disappointed in him. Like, it didn't take much for you to, it's like you were wanting to be like me inside because you took that versus letting me guide you to be like me. So it disappointed God, so he couldn't receive Adam as being the one to rule. He was still a son of God. He was still his son, but he couldn't let him rule. So he and they poisoned their systems when they ate that fruit. See, that fruit, that rowan tree, right now it grows poison berries and they have to be cooked. But see, medical technology and everything wasn't where it is today. So it was just fruit out there, and God was telling them, don't mess with it. The day you do, you'll die. And the devil knew that it was extreme medicine. It's like a over amount of like penicillin is what it is. That's what it is. They said it makes a real strong penicillin, and too much of it will kill you. So he told them not to eat of it, but they ate of it and it poisoned their brains. So that's how the devil deceived them into doing that, by telling them, you could be like God. And that's what another thing God was disappointed because he was like, that's why you took of it, because you were trying to be like me, when you already were like me, but you wanted to stand up to me, should I say, not want to take orders from God. Is what it was. And God was really looking out. That's why he told him, don't eat of the tree, because the day you do, you will die, because it was a poison tree, which it really was medicine. And I believe he was going to deliver that tree to the world to take care of the world, which is being done now. He didn't get a chance to then because Adam wasn't deserving to do it. So the world went without. So that's why he had to destroy the world too. He had to clean it up because it was too overly corrupted. So he told Noah to, build the ark because it was going to flood. And Shem, Ham, and Japheth, which was Noah's sons, Shem married an Asian woman to keep seed alive on the earth. Ham married a black woman to keep seed alive on the earth. And Japheth married a white woman to keep seed alive on the earth. So really, everybody is family. Like, as far as culture go, we were all Noah's kids. Um, there's not been a pure race since before the flood. Um, After the flood, the ark, it landed in Turkey on the mountains of Ararat. Um, and that's the story we know as today. You know, after they got off the ark, then everybody went their directions. Japheth went towards the east of Asia. He had the white wife. Um, Shem went into Asia. He had the Asian wife. And Ham settled in Africa. He had the African wife. And Noah went back home, which was here, the Americas. That's why there were Native Americans here. Indians, as we know, that was Noah. Noah had more kids after the flood. So the pure Indians were Noah's kids after Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So that's where all the races come about as we know them now. Um, a thing happened that shouldn't have. After the flood, Noah was really sick. He was stressed, depressed, and he wasn't in his right mind. I could see a traumatic event like that taking anyone out of the right mind. Um, yeah, I could see a traumatic event like that taking you out of your right mind. So he was drinking, and his grandson, it was actually Ham's son, um, laughed at him, made jokes, because he was laid out drunk and naked. So he made jokes, and that was actually Ham's son. Forgive me, I'm kind of tired here, but it was Ham's son. You can read up on it. So when Ham's grandson did that, Noah woke up in a rage and was like, you know, curse be unto Ham. And that's what caused the enslaving. And it goes further to talk in Acts about us being put in slavery one last time, which was the time we were here in slavery and being freed after the 400 years, to not be enslaved again because we actually were royalty. And through that trying time, we actually have been on the throne numerous times, from David to Solomon to Jesus being born. He's a son of David, son of God, being born through David's tribe, to modern day tribes, King James.